What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Vosteed Knives Valkyrie. So the Valkyrie was one of two that came in a little Vosteed passaround pack from the Lefty passaround group. See, I had the Vosteed and I also had the Labrador, which is probably going to be the next review video that you guys see. I'm filming this on Monday, March 6th. It is so weird to think that it's already a week into March. January and February have just been flying by. But yeah, got home after work, showered, or took my dog Lucy on a walk, showered up, and I have some videos to bang out for you guys. I have a bunch of reviews to film for you guys this week. So it's probably going to be a pretty full week of videos and reviews for you guys, which I'm excited for. Last week, I think I only posted one video. And yeah, so I'm excited to get some more content out for you guys, and starting it right off with the Valkyrie. So like I said, this is from Vosteed Knives, and Vosteed is kind of becoming a pretty well-known company for making budget-minded knives, very, very, very good budget-minded knives. If you guys have been, watchers of the channel for the last couple months, you would have seen I had the Vosteed Raccoon on, and I noted that was like my budget knife or one of my budget knives of the year, and possibly the best budget button lock that you could buy on the market, which is really cool. I ended up selling that knife just because I didn't carry it a whole lot anymore, so I did move on from it. But it's a fantastic knife, and both the Valkyrie and the Labrador that I have in right now are awesome knives, awesome materials, really good build quality for the price you're paying for them. Just all around great values, in my opinion. I think Vosteed is really coming into their own, and they're kind of, growing that role of, the from $75, no, actually from like $60-ish to like $120, kind of that role of just really value-packed knives. And I really have to applaud them for doing that. And I think that's a fantastic thing that they're doing. I love that they're filling that role of sort of the higher end of budget, by still, but still hitting the lower end as well. Or not the lower end, but like the mid-level as well. They're just in a really good spot right now, and I have to, like I said, applaud them for that. But jumping into materials for the Valkyrie, you guys can see it is rocking some gray G10 scales. It is obviously a button lock with multiple ways of deploying it. So you have the flipper tab up here, you have the front flipper here, and you have the dual thumb studs right there. You do have a loop over style deep carry pod clip that goes to the butt end of the knife. And it's very flush to the scale, which is nice, but it is almost a little bit of a troublesome spot right there for popping it over your seam of your jeans. But I'll touch on that later in the carry department. It is lefty carry, which is nice. It would have been nice if they included like a filler tab on this side to put in there, but it is what it is. It is rocking the, this is a Warncliffe? Sheep's foot, sorry. They look the same to me. I always get them slightly, mixed up, but they are offering two different blade shapes. So you have the CX blade, which is basically a Warncliffe. It's basically very similar to this, but it drops here, and it's more of a, a gradual, instead of this being kind of a gradual drop, it's more of a sharp, like, cut off right here. They look very, very similar. And then, of course, like I said, they have the sheep's foot saw blade. This comes in a couple different variations. So you have the black and satin sheep's foot. You have the black and satin CX. You have the fully blacked out with the DLC coated, or black stonewash is what they're referring to as it is. Sheep's foot, the black stonewash CX, the gray and satin sheep's foot, which is what I have here, the gray and satin CX, and then they have the green and black stonewash sheep's foot and the green and black stonewash CX as well. So you have technically three different blade shapes, or you have two different blade shapes, three different colors, and a couple different DLC coded versions. Now, I will say before I get any further into the video, they are all sold out on Vosteed, but I still will leave a link below to the website directly to the Valkyrie's page. If you guys are interested, I think you can add it to the wish list, and you can put your email in to get notified whenever they are available. But this was a pretty popular knife for them. I think it sold out it kind of took off, and then it sold out pretty, recently after. But yeah, it's on bearings. As for internal milling, there is 4 pockets of milling on both the show scale side and the, well, I guess your show scale is the same as the button lock. But both scales, both liners have milling out of them, which is nice. You have a very nice forward finger choil right there. You do have some jimping down here. They're on bearings, like I said, and they are flat ground. They're pretty thin blade stock to begin with, and then it comes down to a pretty thin edge. Definitely not the thinnest I felt, but it's definitely on the thinner of, you know, some recent knives that I've handled before. Sorry guys, got my cherry 7-Up. Long day at work. Got a lot of, we tear up, this is a little sidetrack, but we tear up roof every day, and in the morning, like we do it first thing in the morning. We take, a couple guys take saws and basically like make like cookies out of the roof. And we pick it up, and it's just a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. So a lot of the time, you know, actually the last week or so of work, I've been dealing with like some sinusy stuff, so I have like some crap in my throat. Hopefully it's not coming through to you guys, but I'm definitely in need of a drink right now. So hopefully, I'm actually out of this already because I was drinking it before I started the video. So I'm gonna have to grab a new one probably for the next video. But the blade steel is 154 cm. Says Valkyrie right there. Vosteed right there. Very minimum branding. I like that. I don't like that there's anything like out here on the blade. Just, you know, nice minimal. I like the pivot. I think that's a pretty nice looking pivot. And yeah, I think that's all for materials. So we are going to jump into the action. Now this, of course, is a button lock. So you guys can already probably expect this to be pretty fidgety, you know, pretty drop shutty, pretty guillotine-y to, you know, right off the bat. And, you know, I will let you know that it is. It's a very fun, you know, it's a fidgety knife. Which it has some pretty good acoustics to it. I was kind of taken off guard by how good the acoustics were for this knife. But starting out, you obviously have multiple ways of deployment. You have the thumb studs, the front flipper, the back flipper, and technically the push or the button lock. Thumb studs fires right out of there. Nice, strong, stiff detent. Middle finger flies right out of there. You can hear right away. It's already kind of singing a little bit, but the thumb studs work fantastic. Front flipper flies open, comes right out of there. Very easy to operate. That's another thing that I have to note about this knife is the ease of the usability and the ease of use is very easy on this knife. I feel like this would be a great knife for someone just getting into the knife world, but they want to learn how to, you know, thumb flick, learn how to middle finger flick, learn how to front flip, and learn how to normal flip. This would be a great knife for all of them, you know, all those opening methods to be on one knife. Then of course you can take the button lock and flick it open that way. I don't tend to, you know, I don't like to do that often, but you definitely can. But and then closing action, very, very smooth. There is no blade play. This thing is locked up really, really tight. Kevin had these in, Lefty DC, and I think he tuned them and maybe you know, took them apart. I don't think there's skiffs in here. Kevin had skiffs to everything. But he did tune it, and I think he Loctited it or super glued it, whatever he uses. So it's a very smooth drop with no blade play. And like I said, it's just very, very easy to use all the different methods. So I really, you know, have to give it to the knife for that. And I just think this would be, you know, a great, there's a lot of knives out in the knife world nowadays that have multiple deployment methods that are, you know, kind of built similar to this. But out of the one that I've handled recently and, you know, over the course of my channel, this is probably one of the better ones with, you know, the flipper tab, the front flipper tab, the flipper tab, the front flipper, and the dual thumb studs. It all just works so well, and it's, you know, the detent is smooth, but it's also, you know, stiff in the, you know, the right places, if that makes sense. But it's just, a lot of times also it's hard to nail the detent for multiple deployment methods. But for me, I really have not, you know, said or thought like, wow, this is a weak detent for, like, let's say the thumb studs, but a good detent for the flipper or the front flipper. To me, it just feels great, you know, all around. They you know, it works well for all deployment methods, and the closing is just really good. And sometimes harder. It's probably not going to pick up that well in camera, but it does give a little bit of a ting. It has a nice thwack on the open, and then when it shuts, when it hits the right way, you can hear a little bit of a ting. But then you can also do the like that. I mean, obviously you're not going to do that with your knife that often, but that's what it's capable of doing. So it's probably not going to show up on camera, like I said, but it does have pretty good acoustics for, you know, a $79 knife or whatever they go for, which I have their website open right here. Yeah, $79. So action, all in all, very fidgety, very easy to use, and all around, you know, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10. No complaints from me whatsoever with the action department. After the action department, we want to talk about ergos. And this knife is very ergonomically friendly. You obviously have a forward finger choler right here, but without using that, without being choked up, I can get all 4 fingers on here pretty easily. I have this nice natural restriction point right here with the flipper tab. That would be flipper tab? Yeah, it's a flipper tab. But I get all 4 fingers on here very easily. I do have a little bit of room left, so I can, you know, I don't really have to cram myself on there too much. I have jimping up top here. You have jimping on the bottom here, but I can get all 4 fingers. My thumb can land either out here, here, or back here, whatever is comfortable, whatever I'm going to be, you know, kind of, if I'm going to be cutting through something harder, more resistive, I'll probably want to put my thumb out here to give myself more like push. But if I'm just kind of like stabbing into something or just ripping through some like packages, back here is perfectly fine. But to me, the real winner is using this choil. Because my pointer finger goes here, and then the rest of my hands kind of follow suit, and then I have lots of room. I could probably add another finger back there if I needed to, and then my thumb can fall way up here, kind of in the middle here, or I could almost put it back on the jimping here, but it's kind of really comfortable right in front of it. You know, you can definitely be doing some precise cutting with this if you have to do, you know, if you have to be very careful of what you're cutting around, or if you're pushing through some cardboard. Sometimes I like to choke up like this because you just get a really good grip and you can just get some good power and some good, you know, force behind your push cuts. Pinch grip is also very good on this knife. You do have to watch because it's a button lock, and sometimes button locks aren't the best to use pinch grips with. But as long as you're careful of where the button is, you should be okay. I honestly I find myself using it by putting my thumb underneath the button. I don't know if you guys can see that like so. It's kind of hard to show. So thumb there, middle finger on the other side, and then my pointer finger or index finger is out here to, you know, guide the cut through a package, a letter, whatever it may be. I really like this grip. I use this grip a lot for, you know, all knives. It's one of my favorites. It's just very controllable for, you know, quick, easy slices and whatnot. But yeah, ergos are good. You know, there's no really too many hot spots. The pot clip, like I mentioned earlier, sits very low and flush to the scale, so you're not having too many issues there. The pot clip is countersunk in or nested into the scale with countersunk screws, which is really nice. And even though it's, you know, kind of a problem with the pocket with getting over the seam of your pants, it makes it such a more ergonomically friendly experience because you don't have a huge like lip up that's digging into your hand. I really cannot feel this at all when I'm, you know, choked up, choked back, whatever it may be. The pot clip does not make much of a difference at all, which is a really nice experience. But overall, you know, ergos are great. Just very comfortable knife, very easy to choke back, choke up. You know, if you have to do some gas station 7-Eleven fights with Kevin over a Slurpee, you probably are in some pretty good company there. Nice little, the butt of the knife is great for, you know, if you have to pierce or stab or whatever you do with it, it'll work pretty well in all different grips. So ergos are good. Next up is carry. I don't know, I don't think I said what this knife weighs. So according to the website, it weighs 3.39 ounces, which is pretty good. And the blade shape, the blade length, I also forgot to mention. It's 3.26 inches, so 3 1/4 inches. So for a knife that decently sized, you know, that's right in my wheelhouse for knife sizes. For, you know, 3.4 ounces, that's pretty lightweight, considering you have full steel liners. Now there is some milling going on both sides, but still, it's pretty lightweight. And carrying it in pocket is pretty good. Like I carried this in jeans a couple different times, and I had, I couldn't even tell it was there. Pops down into your pocket. The clip goes to the butt end of the knife, so you don't have to worry about anything sticking up out of your pocket, which is nice. It's a nice sleek little clip. One thing about the clip I wish they would do is they would take off the little logo that they have going on there. It would just make the clip look that much cleaner, and that much more, simpler. But drops into your pocket. You do have a flipper tab down here, so you have to be careful when you're going in and out of your pocket to get, chapstick, change, medicine, anything that might drop below the knife you have to get down into. But the jimping is pretty neutral. Like it's not overly aggressive jimping, so you're not going to have to worry about when you pull your hand up out, it's not going to pop the knife out or anything like that. It's just something I always like to point out to you guys and to let you know. And of course you can lefty carry it if you need to, if you are a left-handed person. But all in all, I had no issues whatsoever with carrying this knife around. I even threw it in my, I think I've been, carrying a lot of knives in my gym shorts recently, just because that's what I'm wearing now. I always wear gym shorts when I'm around the house. So, if I go out for dinner, if I get up to do something, usually I toss it in my pocket just to experience it. And, it's not something I would carry every single day in my pocket, like, as an EDC knife with gym shorts, but it goes, for being tossed in the pocket, it goes pretty well. But it really rode in my jeans pockets very, very well. Again, no complaints at all. My camera just bounced. I should invest in a new tripod because my tripod's like a Walmart $15 one that I've been using the entire time on my channel. I just haven't thought about going to get one yet. I probably should just order one on Amazon. But it gets the job done for now until it falls in my video. But yeah, so no complaints at all with carry. That leads me to a final category of price point and would I recommend this knife. The price on these go for $79, and that's from Vosteed's website. I don't know if they sell them on like White Mountain Knives and some other retailers. You guys can look into that, but I am going to leave a link directly to the Valkyrie's page down below, even though they are unfortunately out of stock. I think $79 for this is a fantastic price. You're getting, pretty good materials. I really like the gray G10. I didn't mention it in the, ergos department, but the G10 has a really nice texture to it. It's not overly aggressive, but it's not like smooth G10. It's kind of right in the middle, which is right in the sweet spot for me. You have a very smooth action with multiple deployment methods. You have the flipper tab, front flipper, and dual thumb studs, as well as the button lock. And deploying it is just a breeze. It's very fun to fidget with. It excels in that department, in my opinion. I think that's the huge selling point of this knife is, from an aesthetic standpoint, I think it looks pretty damn good. I really like the sheep's foot style blade. I'm a big fan of gray G10. So all in all, it looks really good. But I think the main selling point of this knife is the action and the, the deployment methods, because you're getting 1, 2, 3, technically 4 ways to deploy this knife with a button lock. And it's just, very smooth on the close and just fun to fidget with. And like I mentioned earlier, I really think that this would be a great present for someone that had just gotten into the knife world, has a few knives in the collection, but would want like a knife with multiple deployment methods, because I feel like that's a really popular thing in today's world, or knife world. It's just getting, all these deployment methods on one knife. And, for me, this thing does them all very, very well. And for $79, you're getting 154 cm, which is very adequate for that price point. It's a great steal for $80. And just all in all, I really would recommend this. Am I going to go run out and pick one up? Probably not, but this will definitely be a knife that sometimes I'll go, man, I really miss the Valkyrie, because it is a great knife. I really have enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure to carry. It's been fun to carry. It's just a cool knife. It's smooth. Obviously this is, a passaround knife, so it's been to a few different channels before, and, it's been flicked 1,000 million billion times. So you're bound to get smooth knives that way, but the finish is well done. Materials are all very adequate for the price point. So I think this is a great value. I think anything under $100 is perfect for this knife. I would even pay up to like $120, $125 for this. I think it's that good. So I've really enjoyed having it in. Even the Labrador that I had in, that you guys are going to see a review of next, is good. I'm really a fan of Vosteed. I really I can appreciate a good knife when I see one. And this is definitely one of those. So leave a comment down below. Do you guys have a Valkyrie? Do you have some other Vosteed knives? If you do, what are your thoughts on them? Good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to call them. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, but I'm going to wrap this up. This was my full review on the Vosteed Knives Valkyrie. An excellent value, an excellent budget, sub $100 knife that I think anybody would love to have in their collection. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, the Valkyrie is linked down below. Blue Creek Knives is linked down below, and Barnescraft Designs is linked down below. If you use code 814EDC at both of those websites, you can get 10 and 15% off. Helps you, helps me, helps Brian, and just use the links, guys. I really, I try to push them, but I don't want to like shove them down your throat, so I just try to mention them at the end of the video. But yeah, talk to you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, night, morning, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.